This is Godma village on top of the stupa, which covers the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha. And look, this is a small temple to Jivak, and this is Kadamtar. Kadamtar also means below the feet. So this is another option for the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha. And this is a temple in Kadamtar, or the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha. And folks, this is the countryside around Kadamtar and Godma, which are either the Kadamtar most probably is the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha, and Ashoka covered the preaching hall, the remains of the preaching hall, with a stupa to keep it safe, and it became a place of prayer. So there had to be a Sangrama nearby with the same meaning, with a name, different name with the same meaning, and that will be Godma. So the Sangrama will be a place where the pilgrims come and stayed, who came to pay homage to Kadamtar, stupa. So folks, how I came to this conclusion, to understand this, you'll have to see this video to the end. Now that I have shown you the place where the heretics tried to kill the Buddha by making a fiery pit which became a beautiful lake and then feeding him poisoned rice, that is in Chandi Mao. Zhang takes us further. He takes us north of Chandi Mao to the place where Jivak made a preaching hall for the Buddha, and he presented it to the Buddha. Folks, that is Godma, exactly north of Chandiman. That is Godma, exactly north of Chandiman. Godma, why is it important? Godma means the feet. God is the feet. See, in India, when we present something, we don't present it in the hand. We to an elder or to a respectable person, we present something at his feet. So Godma is the stupa, over which is covering the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha. So folks, check out what Zhang has to say, and then I will show it to you in satellite pictures, and then you can see pictures of the preaching hall, and don't forget to visit the places, folks. Zhang has shown us the fiery ditch, which was made to kill the Buddha, which when the Buddha stepped on it became a lake with lotus flowers. This is your lake. They call it Pushkarni Sarovar. Anyway, this is Chandi Sthan, which is Zhang calls Shingmi. Chandi is Shingmi. So folks, now let's see where Zhang takes us after this, after the fiery ditch. To the northeast of the fiery ditch, to the northeast of this fiery ditch of Sri Gupta, that is not Sri Gupta, that is Shingmi is Chandi. Shingmi is Chandi. At a bend of the city is a stupa. This is where, to the northeast of the fiery ditch of Sri Gupta, at a bend of the city is a stupa. This is where Jivak, the great physician, built a preaching hall for Buddha. All round the walls he planted flowers and fruit trees. The traces of the foundation walls and the decayed roots of the trees are still visible. You see, Yun Sang had gone there around 1000 years after this story took place, the Buddha story took place, unfolded. So naturally everything was broken and decaying. Tathagat, when he was in the world, often stopped here. By the side of this place are the remains of the house of Jiva. Okay, now let's see where this preaching hall is. To the northeast of the fiery ditch of Sri Gupta, Shingmi, that is Chandi, at a bend of the city is a stupa. This is where Jiva, the great physician built a preaching hall for Buddha. Now let's see where it is. By the side, see, he says this is your the fiery ditch. Now to the northeast of this, see here it is, the fiery ditch is here. Now to the northeast, let's go to the northeast. Here is the fiery ditch, Pushkarni Sarovar. To the northeast is a preaching hall which Jivak made for the Buddha. Folks, see, here is Junaidi. Jivak's real name is Junaidi, and he made a preaching hall for the Buddha. See, this is Gorma. See, when you present you have to understand Indian tradition, Indian culture, Bihari tradition, Bihari culture. When you present something to a person of the stature of the Buddha, you, present to his feet. So, like when we meet our parents, our elders, our school teachers, we touch the foot and say namaste. And when we present them with something, we put it at the feet. That is Gorma. Gorma means presentation at the feet. So this is the stupa, where this is the see, Ashoka, what he did, all these places had been decayed. See, Ashoka was 150 years after the Buddha. So all these places had decayed in the Ashoka's time, so he made stupas on top of them, so that they were preserved below the stupa. So this is your Gorma. This is the preaching hall which your Jivak, his name isn't Jivak, his name is Junaidi. Jivak made for the Buddha. See, there is another option for the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha. See, this is Gorma, which I have shown you, and this is Jivak's home, Junaidi. This is Jivak's home, Junaidi. See, and there's another name, Kadamtar. Now, Kadamtar and Gorma have the same meaning. Kadamtar means below the feet, and Gorma is also below the feet. So, when in ancient India, when even present day India, when people present something to the elder, an elder or a highly respected person, he generally gives it at his feet. So this is Kadamtar and Gorma. Now whenever you find two places adjacent to each other with two different names but with the same meaning, two places adjacent with each other, each other's neighbors, with two different names but with the same meaning, that means one is the stupa and the other is the sangrama. So it is possible this Kadamtar is the stupa and Gorma is the sangrama. See, the stupa is to be prayed to, and the sangrama is a place where the monks stay and where the pilgrims stay who have come to pay homage. So because, and see, the sangrama Gorma up here is Kadamtar, means Gorma, means at the feet. Gorma means at the feet. And this is Junaidi, that is Jivak's house. Jivak's real name is Junaidi. So this Gorma is most probably the, the sangrama in charge of, Kadamtar is the, preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha, and Jivak's home, that is Junaidi. His descendants live here today. So folks, in this case, either Kadamtar is the sangrama and Gorma is the stupa on top of the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha, or it's vice versa. Gorma is the sangrama and Kadamtar is the stupa, because Kadamtar is exactly north of Chandi Mao.
and you have to take Zhang Zhang seriously. He says north of Chandi Mao is the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha, and exactly to the east is what do you call it, Junaidi, which is Jivak's home. So, folks, check out the pictures of Kadamtar and Gorma.
Okay, now folks, we have come north of Chandiman, and this is your Kadamtar. Kadamtar means at the feet. So this is where Jivak, see, this is a typical house of Kadamtar. And what do you call it? This is a school and and this is a Shiv temple. Basically, Kadamtar, see a person of the stature of the Buddha, if you present him something, your father, your teacher, you have to present it at the feet. So Kadamtar is what do you call it? And especially Ashoka, he made a stupa on top of the preaching hall. So the preaching hall was below the feet. That is Kadamtar, folks. And Gorma will be most probably. Now see, these pictures are of Gorma. These pictures are of Gorma. Gorma has the same meaning as Kadamtar, but I suspect this is the Sangrama in charge of Kadamtar's stupa. So this is the preaching hall Jivak made for the Buddha, and just next to Gorma, slightly northeast of Gorma, across the river, is Jivak's own home, that is Junaidi. So folks, this is your the Sangrama in charge of the stupa, so which is covering the preaching hall, that is Kadamtar for you folks. So you are looking at Kadamtar Shiv temple. It is on top of the stupa, Kadamtar stupa, which covers the preaching hall Jivak made for and presented to the Buddha. So folks, I hope you appreciated this video and found it educative. If you did so, then don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to my page Buddha Exhumed, and don't forget to tell your friends and relatives about my page Buddha Exhumed and this video.